All right, folks, welcome back to the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. My name is Rizz, as always, with Tim McKernan and Anthony Stalter. We are back in the studio, well rested from our holiday break.
I feel well rested.
You guys feel good?
Yeah, I feel good. Yeah.
I feel like a functioning member of society now. Back out of my basement, and
that's where you resided, your basement.
Yes, my
your
basement.
Holiday break.
We're all, I believe, products of the 90s, right?
Yes.
80, born in 80, product of the 90s. So we all remember Black Sheep.
Oh, yeah.
When Chris Farley falls down the mountain and then gets up and says, "What the hell is that all about?"
Yeah.
He's looking around. That is what I picture you, like coming out of
like,
yeah.
Rubbing my eyes like my hair is all a mess.
All a mess. Just rejoining society.
Yeah, that's
the vision that you just
I'm
created.
easing my way back in. Well, gentlemen, it's a new week. NFL wildcard weekend plus the college football semis. It's a big week.
Huge week. Wonderful week.
So 6 wildcard games, 2 college football playoff semifinal games. This is the best betting weekend of the season. The theme, guys, don't chase. Grab good numbers. Grab good numbers early. So we're recording this on Wednesday. I was looking at some numbers yesterday. Things are moving already.
They are. You're
Lines are moving. And be willing to pass if the line's gone. Like, let's be fellas. I know we lock in our numbers on a Wednesday, but if we were to not have this podcast, we'd be looking at numbers all week. So if a number goes away, pass if you need to.
If you're skilled enough to say this is the number I want, that's when you jump. So if the line opening line comes out on a Sunday night and that's the number you love, you got to take it there.
Yeah.
Now, could it go down and therefore you would have had a better number if you waited? Sure, but then of course you can hedge and do some things there.
Hey, listen, if we give you something juicy right now and you wait and it's gone,
it's on you.
That's on you.
That's right.
That's on you. So as we do every week, we do a quick recap of our picks from the week prior. Tim, as a show, how did we do?
Rizz, for every game we won, we lost 2. The podcast as a whole,
What'd you call me?
went 5 and 10.
5 and 10.
I think I should be calling myself names, Anthony, because I went 1 and 4.
Oh.
1 and 4. The only game that I won, I was on with Rizz, right? We were both on Miami getting 9.5.
Yeah.
Against Ohio State. Anthony, you were on the Buckeyes, but I think a lot of people were on your side. But we can't dunk on the public when we only won a combined, one other game amongst us, between me and Rizz anyway. Rizz, you got your lock.
Yes, I did.
I loved that play. I'm telling you. I think I said this last week.
That was the team total.
Any of Texas Tech under. I just said this on TMA, as a matter of fact. That's the radio show that I host in St. Louis. And that is... when Rizz has these
little,
I'm like I'd love to dig into the podcast. I feel like you're undefeated. It's like you had UConn against Duke one time.
Places that it's not going to be a high-scoring game, especially for Texas Tech. So
yes,
the team total under
24.5. I mean, you were sweat-free. That was crystal clear.
I was sweat-free on that Miami play and the Texas Tech play.
Yes,
everything else.
But that was your lock, and you hit on it, Anthony. You almost got home with your lock, which was Indiana, Alabama over 48.5.
That got going at the end, and Alabama was deep in Indiana territory. I'm like, okay, we're going to cash this thing. And Alabama offensively just did what they did all game, which was absolutely nothing.
I'm going into the weeds on this, but you will certainly have a feeling on it because it involved your lock. Kalen DeBoer kicking the field goal when they were down by as many points as they were?
Yeah. I mean...
okay, we're on the same page then.
It reminded me a little bit of the way that Curt Cignetti played the Ohio State game.
Yes, managing the impression of the final score.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're no longer trying to win this game. And even, I don't care what the odds are at that point or whatever, you're no longer trying to win this game. You're trying to make sure you're not losing by a certain
You're trying to
number.
make sure you don't get shut out.
That's what it felt like.
That's what that was. Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I'm in some group texts and people were going nuts about that. My lock, this is 100% on me. Not just that it was the wrong pick. I didn't realize that Eli Stowers for Vanderbilt was sitting out, and I think he could wind up being a really impact player in the NFL. So he sat out. He was Diego Pavia's go-to, and he opted out of that game. So that was just terrible across the board. I took Vanderbilt against Iowa. I would have never done that had I known that. But that's on me. That number, that information is out there. He had opted out beforehand. So I now sit at 10-8 on my locks at 56%. Anthony, you are 8-10 on your locks, and Rizz, you are at 9-10 on your locks. Our overall standings for the year. Our leader is Anthony Stalter, who is only 2 games under 500. That's good enough for first place.
All right.
Jeez.
You are 49.2% against the spread. I am 47.6% against the spread. Rizz, you are 41.2% against the spread. There are numbers.
We'll get them this week, fellows.
guys, let's go.
I mean,
it's a new year.
We'll get them this week.
Oh, gosh.
It's a new year. It's officially 2026.
Yes, it is.
Let's close the chapter there on 2025.
We're done with that.
It
That's in the rear
starts
view.
now.
That's in the rear view.
We're all smart-ish. I think we can turn this thing around. You know what? We're not even turning anything around. It's all go here in 2026.
You have a theory, Tim?
I have a situation.
Oh.
And I want and if you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, you obviously have an interest in placing sports wagers. So when I saw the college football playoff rankings playing out, I was of the opinion that the committee would do one of two things. They would either make sure that Alabama would be in no matter what, or they would make sure that Miami would be in if it was head-to-head against Notre Dame. They wouldn't have Notre Dame and Miami in. Alabama was going to be in no matter what. So I saw the long odds on Miami winning the national championship, and before the final rankings came out, I took Miami to win the national championship. And I have 2 different bets and 2 different tickets that would pay a nice amount because they had such long odds. So the question I have for you, gentlemen, and I'm really curious of what you would do, I can bet Ole Miss, which is plus 140 on the money line, and assure myself of profit, but then that would force me to bet Indiana or Oregon, who would be a favorite against Miami in the championship game, cutting into the profits, or I can just roll with it and take my chances. What would you do if you were in my spot?
Try to hedge your bet?
That's all right.
I would let it roll this week.
Okay.
Your big problem is, like you said, next week.
Because it forces me to place 2 bets if they are to win.
If you do have the advantage of playing live, though, let's say Miami beats Ole Miss, so you let it ride. You go into next week. Let's say Indiana plays Ole Miss. Indiana gets down 7. That is when I would attack. Because you're right, you don't want to play the money line on a favorite. I would wait to see if Indiana gets behind a little bit and then play it.
Nicely done.
That sounds right.
I like the live.
That sounds right.
There's still a risk there because Indiana could get up 14 and you're holding a bad ticket.
Right. Yeah. But if you win on Ole Miss this weekend, I'm getting plus money. So then that assures me that. Because then the thought process, I could take Ole Miss plus 3.5.
Yes.
And I could theoretically middle it if Miami were to win 1, but I'm laying 115 to do that.
I would do that.
That's what you would do.
I would take the 3.5, put it in the back pocket, knowing that you could at the very least middle it. Or at best, you middle it. At worst, obviously, you just maybe you get your money back off the tickets.
Are you not confident about...
Which one?
You're not confident about Miami?
I could see any of the 4 remaining teams win the national championship, just like I could see any of the 8 remaining teams going in winning the national championship. Now, with hindsight...
Miami's giving 3.5.
That's correct. With hindsight, Alabama wasn't the Alabama we think of, and Texas Tech didn't have the offense.
Right.
I also think that's a credit to Oregon's defense and their response to giving up a bunch of points to James Madison.
Hedge.
But it gets, so what would you do, Rizz? You rolling with it? Or you
rolling with it?
You rolling with it?
I'm rolling with it. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, it was a long shot play that was, I think when I fired it was like plus 15,000. Because people were like, oh, Miami's not going to be in there. But I saw what they were going to do. They were going to make sure that if it came down to head-to-head, Miami was going to get in there. I know.
The favorite.
Your issues next week.
Yeah.
Because I think Miami's gonna get past Ole Miss.
Everybody thinks Miami's going to win that game. I'm not so sure. People have been discounting Ole Miss. They didn't think they were going to beat Georgia.
I would wait. Oh, man. I'd wait.
You wait. All right.
I want to see what happens this week.
I think I'll probably assure myself of profit with at least a small taste on Ole Miss. A small taste.
All right, gentlemen. New slate. Let's hit the board. We'll do a quick break.
New year, Rizz.
New slate, new year.
New year.
We'll take a quick break. Then we're back with the 4-pack. It's the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. Spread Zone brought to you by FanDuel. Wildcard Weekend is where numbers move the most. So check FanDuel for the latest spreads and totals before you lock anything in. Of course, bet responsibly. All right, we're going to go around the room. 4 picks. And we'll start with Tim, you first. You're first. Now we're picking NFL wildcard. We're picking college football. What do you got first?
Well, Rizz, I usually focus on college with my plays, but seeing as that has been a disaster, I'm going to pivot off for 4 of my 5 picks to the NFL playoffs. But I do have one college play, and it's not a side because I truly could see any of the 4 winning/covering this weekend. But I really like the under of Miami and Ole Miss. It's set at 50.5. And while I realize Ole Miss defensively has real issues, I just can't imagine Miami's defense giving up a lot of points to Ole Miss. I just can't picture that. And so therefore that number at 50.5 really surprises me. And so I will take the under of Miami and Ole Miss. The under is set at 50.5. Gentlemen, I'm on the under.
Anthony.
I don't care that the Panthers beat the Rams in the regular season. I don't care that the Rams have looked a little shaky recently. Give me the Rams minus 10.5. If you go back to that Rams-Panthers game, Carolina, I don't think, got into the red zone. Their lone touchdown was a defensive pick. I think it was a pick 6 or a fumble. And Stafford had the Rams deep in Carolina territory to potentially tie the game or win the game when he fumbled and Carolina secured the victory. So my point in there is I'm not going to take too much out of that game. Carolina stinks. Bryce Young, unless he's playing Atlanta, he threw for 45 yards a couple of weeks ago against Seattle. The Rams don't have Seattle's defense, but I think they handle a Carolina team that can't really run the ball. Their receivers give me a little pause because they're bigger, and the Rams tend to struggle with bigger wide receivers, i.e. AJ Brown. Otherwise, I think this Rams team dismantles Carolina. I'm laying the 10.5. I think like everybody loves the Rams. They're like, oh, not at 10.5. I don't care. I think this could get ugly.
You know, I was when I sat down to make my picks for the week. I was trying to work backwards, like who's going to be in the Super Bowl, who's going to be in the who's going to be in the conference championship. So who's going to be in the Super Bowl this year? Is it going to be the Rams and the Patriots? Is it going to be the
third time?
Is it going to be the Rams and the Bills? Are the Jaguars going to beat the Bills? Wild card weekend. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's awesome. Is what it is.
I think this is shaping up to be a great playoffs for the NFL.
I could see any underdog playing this weekend winning outside of Carolina and one other. And you're taking the Rams, giving 10.5. I'm going to go the opposite. You're going Carolina.
Oh, wow. You're going Panthers.
I don't think Carolina's going to win, but I think they keep it competitive. Carolina's at home. Do you remember the score of the Rams?
30-27.
It was 31 or 28.
Okay.
31-28. Expect the Panthers defense to be aggressive as they were the first time they played and the first time that Carolina beat them. The Rams are a better overall team, but the Panthers could move the ball enough, I think, to stay inside the 10.5, especially at home. If this dips to maybe 9.5, I would maybe think differently. But that 10.5 is pretty juicy to me.
You got a little cushion there. I would recommend if you're playing a FanDuel to look at some alt lines, maybe get under the 10, get to 9.5. If you like the Rams, obviously you're fine at like Carolina. Stay at the 10.5.
I think 10.5 is good. I think 9.5.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's a different bet. I think plus 10.5 is the value on this. So give me Give me the Panthers plus 10.5.
Well, the spread zone already has its first win of the year.
Yeah, no matter what.
There's one.
There's a W.
Also a loss.
It's true, but we just don't look at it that way. Gentlemen, do you remember anything about Wild Card Weekend from last year? Anything whatsoever? Any game? Any fun fact? Because I have a little data for you.
Go ahead. I don't.
Anything stand? Any of those games stand out? The Texans played the Chargers. The Ravens played the Steelers.
All right, so Justin Herbert was terrible. Baltimore handled. Did you say Baltimore, Pittsburgh? Baltimore handled Pittsburgh easily.
That's correct. Bills and Broncos.
Broncos went up 7-0 and didn't score again.
That's correct. Eagles and Packers.
Eagles dismantled them.
Commanders and Bucks.
Washington, it was back and forth a little bit, but Washington handled them pretty good.
And the Vikings and the Rams.
Rams put it to them.
And that was played in Glendale, Arizona.
And I feel like I was hit with the Men in Black red light and forget everything.
That's but here is the most important piece of the data and why I bring it to today's Spread Zone presented to you by FanDuel. And that is only one of the games had a differential in the single digits. 5 of the 6 were blowouts. The Texans 32-12 over the Chargers, the Ravens 28-14 over the Steelers, the Bills 31-7 over the Broncos, the Eagles 22-10 over the Packers, the Rams 27-9 over the Vikings, the Commanders won by 3 over the Bucks. Wild Card Weekend tends to have the greatest disparity. And so, with that established, there are some, big spreads out there on Wild Card Weekend, but you actually will see blowouts. I am of the opinion, speaking to what you brought up, Rizz, that when you're looking and playing it backward, who's going to be in the Super Bowl, that the Rams really are a force to possibly win the Super Bowl, but yet they're on the road playing an 8-9 team. Will the
NFC champ come out of the West?
And, you're having the 49ers and Seahawks along with the Rams. You would certainly like your chances when you take a look at that. I am on this game, but not on a side. I am on the Rams team total of over 29.5. I do agree with you. I think the Panthers will be aggressive because it's their only chance defensively, but that's going to open up some options with the Rams, and they have so many weapons for Matthew Stafford to choose from. Rams team total over 29.5 is my solid play.
And Devontae Adams should be back.
Yeah.
So it's one of those weapons, one of the primary weapons outside of Puka Nacua. So I like it.
All right, Anthony.
Well, we just got done talking about this game a little bit because Tim has a quote-unquote situation with his Miami title futures tickets. I'm laying the 3.5 with Miami. I really like Ole Miss. I like watching him play. I think Trinidad Chambliss he has been fantastic this season. I loved his performance. I love both him and Gunnar Stockton's performance in the playoffs. Gunnar Stockton took 4 or 5 vicious hits and still kept going. And Trinidad Chambliss was just brilliant from start to finish. But look, with the Lane Kiffin stuff has to matter at some point, right? And now we got the stories of Lane Kiffin trying to, say, hey, listen, you've had your fun. Come by Baton Rouge now. You got to get to Baton Rouge.
Just this morning, as we were recording on Wednesday morning, a little more than 30 hours out from game time, 2 of Ole Miss's offensive coaches will not be at the game because they have to stay in Baton Rouge, and that is their contract because it's portal season, so they will not be coaching for
the dam has to break at some point. I think it does against a Miami defense. That's absolutely vicious. I took Ohio State in part because I thought Carson Beck was going to turn it over. He just managed the game. He didn't have to do much.
Nice little ground game and a great defense and a pick 6. How do you
make a very compelling argument?
But you're on the other side. I can tell. I can see it in your face.
Put another win down for the spread zone, and another loss down too. Man, I'm taking Ole Miss plus 3.5 against Miami out there in Glendale, Arizona, the Fiesta Bowl. So Ole Miss just beat Georgia in a game where they allowed 0 sacks, and they're facing a Miami defense built around a premier defensive front. If Ole Miss can again protect and stay balanced, I think it neutralizes Miami's biggest defensive edge, and at more than a field goal, I think you're buying insurance in what's priced in like a tight game.
Mm-hmm. So what's interesting, you're almost playing the number, which is the smart thing to do. I'm playing the team.
Yeah.
Because 3.5, I don't like 3.5. I don't like 10.5 with the Rams, but I'm taking the team, whereas you're playing.
I'm playing the number on this,
which is interesting. Typically, people that play the numbers are usually correct.
Interesting to know about. I didn't realize about the two coordinators who will have to stay back.
That just broke. That news just broke within the last hour. Yeah,
I'm like a meter maid though. I already put pen to paper. So
it's done.
I ain't changing nothing. So give me Ole Miss plus 3.5 versus Miami in the Fiesta Bowl tomorrow night.
We got a Rizz Stalter.
Yeah, I got a showdown. There might be more where that came from.
Some more picks.
There's 3 more picks to make.
Let's go, Tim.
My third pick this week, gentlemen, is the game that I think most people around the country, if they don't have a team involved, are looking forward to watching, and that is the Saturday night NFC North showdown between the rivals, the Bears and the Packers. Weather, of course, can always be a factor when you're talking about an NFC North game, and any of the teams that have the outdoor facilities. I still think this thing goes over 45.5. I know the Bears slowed down offensively last week against the Lions. I'm sure a lot of people were on the over on that one. But I think this thing goes over 45.5 and kind of in the sweat-free category that we have found on some of these Saturday and Sunday night games. Over 45.5. Bears-Packers is my third play, gentlemen.
Not trying to talk out of that at all. Just watch the talking about the weather.
Yes.
Watch the wind.
The Hawk is up at Soldier.
I think the wind is going to be a major factor in that game. So just something to think about.
The wind is the thing to worry about more than precipitation is wind.
Sometimes, you play the wind and all of a sudden it's a 40-40 game. You're like, what? Okay, this wasn't smart. I'm going to the other college football matchup. I know these two teams played before. Very difficult to beat a team twice. Give me Oregon plus 3.5.
Wow.
I was so impressed. I almost sold Oregon stock after the second half against JMU because they allowed some late touchdowns, but I think I was just bitter Bob because, Tim, I think you and I were both on Oregon that night. I know certainly I was. But the way that these two defenses play, they've already got a look at each other. Dan Lanning is going to have at least an idea of what Curt Cignetti is going to throw at him. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think it's a field goal game either way. Give me Oregon plus 3.5.
Fun fact for no and tell along these lines. I don't know if you were aware of this, gentlemen. 6 times in the 12-year history of the college football playoff, we have had a regular season rematch. And only 1 time out of those 6 has the team that won in the regular season also won the rematch in the college football playoff.
Let's effing go.
Well, Anthony, we're staying in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
You got a total, though.
I do.
I thought you were going to do it again.
No.
Playing poker. I'm reading you a pick right now.
So, Oregon, Indiana, I'm taking the under 47.5 points. I was looking at CBS's Sportsline model. They simmed the game 10,000 times and lands on 46 points with the under cashing 54% of the time.
I can see it being a rock fight.
And the logic matches what we watched. Oregon blanked Texas Tech 23-0, and Indiana held Alabama to 3 points in the quarterfinal. These are two teams whose identity has been defense. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting at 47.5 for the over-under. I'm taking the under on that. You're asking for mid-20s from both teams, and I think that might be a lot to ask. So that's what I'm taking. Oregon and Indiana under 47.5.
There it is. My final pick from the non-lock contingent is the Patriots. I feel like you're going to have another blowout here. I realize the number is only 3.5. If anything, that gives me pause because I would have thought the number would have been bigger, but it's only 3.5 against the Chargers. I think New England is a force. I think they're underappreciated also. I recall a couple of different times during the regular season. One was one of the Bills games and one was the other where the Patriots were getting points at home, I think, against Buffalo. And we were thinking, is that line just inviting action because something doesn't add up and New England would wind up winning? And I think it's carrying over into the postseason. That is a real force. And I will take the Patriots minus 3.5 against the Chargers and feel comfortable that I will get home with New England advancing.
Yeah, I think the Patriots have been one of the most impressive teams in the NFL this season. Their schedule has just been so weak.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of them. It's like,
are they the real deal?
Exactly. If you look at them play, you're like, oh, you got everything. And then you look at the schedule like, okay, you played the Jets twice, you got Dolphins twice, and on and on.
Does Drake May win the MVP?
I think Stafford probably does, but Drake May, you got to consider him. He's going to get votes, but I think it's going to be Stafford, especially after the way Sean McVay and the Rams played that Arizona game in Week 18. I mean, they're still throwing.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah.
I'm going to the Chicago-Green Bay game, but I got a side in this. When I looked at all the lines, one thing that I didn't trust myself enough in that horrible 2025 that is now behind us is when a line doesn't make sense, lean into it. And this one, you look at it and you're like, why is Green Bay, who has compiled a couple of losses now, I know Jordan Love didn't play in Week 18 and a lot of starters didn't play in Week 18, but why is Green Bay laying 1.5? Typically, first-time quarterbacks in the playoffs struggle. And that's going to be something to watch all week because you've got a lot of them. Drake May, you've got Caleb Williams, you've got Bryce Young, who's never made a playoff appearance. There might be one other. But with this being potentially a windy game, I think Josh Jacobs, who had a great game in Green Bay when these two teams played, I think Josh Jacobs is the key to this. I think the experience of Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love play into this, and I'm going to lay
Matt LaFleur may be playing for his job.
He'd look good in Atlanta. So if I'm wrong, Rizz, hopefully they can him, and he winds up with the Falcons. You know what I mean? No, I got Green Bay -1.5.
All right, for my final pick, I am on a team that is ripped off 8 straight wins,
Jacksonville,
and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I'm taking it on the money line. I think right now the Bills are the Jaguars are getting 1.5. So I mean it's a coin flip. It's a coin flip spread. I think Jacksonville, first of all, they're on fire. They're built to stress the Bills, where Buffalo's been leaky. There are concerns about Buffalo's run defense.
Oh, it's terrible.
Which sets up a Travis Etienne type of game. Also mention, hey, Josh Allen, he's got a foot injury, which matters if Buffalo needs him creating, outside structure. With the spread basically saying coin flip, I'll take the Jags to win the game. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars on the money line. Sunday, noon.
All right.
Josh Allen 0-4 in his otherwise stellar career in playoff games on the road.
Whoa.
How many of those are in KC?
I was about to say, it's a Kansas City festival.
I think his first playoff game, he lost to Deshaun Watson in Houston. And then
that's correct. Nice knowledge. And then the other 3, 2021, 2022, and 2025. All Kansas City.
Make it 0 for 5.
Nice play. Look at that. Trevor Lawrence will join as a Clemson quarterback to get him.
Listen, we'll take our second break here on the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. We'll come back with our FanDuel locks of the week, our most confident picks. So stay there. All right, we're back on the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. Time for the FanDuel locks of the week, our most confident play. And remember, your lock cannot be one of your 4 picks. So, Tim, you start us off. What is your FanDuel lock of the week?
Well, Rizz, you are on the Jaguars money line.
Yeah.
I am on the Jaguars and Bills going over 52.5 and loving it. I don't see Buffalo stopping Jacksonville, and even though I know Jacksonville has probably a defense that would fall into the category of the Patriots team being underrated, I think people will see Buffalo be able to move the football on them. I think this could wind up being one of those games where both teams hovers around that 30 number. The total is set at 52.5. I like a shootout in Jacksonville over 52.5. Jaguars, Bills, my lock of the week.
Anthony.
So I mentioned earlier that I believe there are two underdogs that I don't think are gonna that have a shot this week in wild card. One was Carolina, and I laid the points with the Rams at 10.5. The other one might be surprising. I don't think there's any way the 49ers go into Philadelphia and beat the Eagles. And I got mad respect for Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh, who should be a head coach again in this cycle. He has done more, he being Robert Saleh, has done more with less than any coach or coordinator in the league this year. The problem is the injuries have not stopped. So he loses Nick Bosa. He loses Fred Warner. He loses, whoever else had piled up throughout the course of the year. 2 more linebackers got hurt for San Francisco in that Seattle game. Mm-hmm. And then the final play of the game, Brock Purdy gets hurt, and his shoulder's all banged up. This is the most injury-ravaged team I have ever seen make the playoffs. Unbelievable praise for the 49ers. I don't really trust the Eagles as far as I can throw them, but I think, like Ole Miss, the dam is going to break here for San Francisco. It's a tough matchup. I think Philly's been kind of playing coy a little bit. Like nobody really trusts them. Still one of the best rosters in football. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with the Eagles as my lock.
Rested everybody last week against the Commanders.
Which was dumb.
Took some criticism for that.
Yeah.
And now they get the 49ers, but as you mentioned, a very beat-up 49ers team.
All right, for my lock, now I'm going to ask you guys for permission on this one because when I saw the line yesterday and this morning, it was 3.5. As we're hitting the air, recording the spread zone, the line moved to 3. I'm taking the Steelers plus 3.5.
I like the huevos rancheros that you're showing. I'll give you the 3.5.
Because I like the field goal on the hook.
Naturally. 3.5.
The 2 times that Rizz has requested this line, he's 2-0.
Yes.
I just want our listeners and viewers to know this.
I'm just glad I'm not on the other side of this because you and I think got stunk by.
Yes, we did. I think it was like that Texas-Mississippi State
we pushed. He was requesting higher lines, and he wins.
Pittsburgh's been better against the spread lately. Houston's had some cover issues, and the matchup favors the dog here in a low total game. I think 39.5 is listed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it with the spread.
Scoring.
So I'm asking permission for the field goal on the hook.
Permission has been granted by the board. When we're combined 30 games under 500, I think we're going to take some liberties.
Let's give you the line you want.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, give me the Steelers plus 3.5 versus the Texans. It's going to be a wild Monday night football game.
Mike Tomlin's, I think, undefeated on Monday nights or something. He's won 17, 18 games in a row on Monday night. Isn't that a weird 39.5? It makes sense. Houston's defense is unbelievable. Pittsburgh has to kind of dink and dunk to win.
Right.
But Aaron Rodgers, I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan from a standpoint of I think he's arrogant. I think he throws people under the bus. Teammates seem to really like him though, and I actually had fun watching him on Sunday night against Baltimore. I thought he made some unbelievable throws. The one layer shot to Pat Freiermuth was one of them. I don't blame you for taking the 3.5 on this.
And you're going to have DK Metcalf back.
Yes, which is huge because that receiver core is.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, fellas.
Yep.
Let's get a dub.
Let's 2026, it's a new year.
Come on now.
It's our time.
Let's go, guys. It is our time. It's our time. So we'll see you next week. This has been the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel.
We provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm gambling regulations in your state of residence. To participate in sports gaming, you must be 21 years of age or older and be physically present in a state where sports betting is legal. If you or someone you know has a sports betting or gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org for more information and further assistance.